What is that? Is that a butterfly?
Yeah, I'll just sit right next to you right here.
You're so classy.
We'll build you a belt.
A money belt? I got dollar signs like a real hoe.
No, but you're manifesting with those.
Anora is in cinemas now, follows the story of Annie, or Anora, played by Mikey Madison, a Brooklyn stripper in her 20s that falls for one of her clients, Ivan, who is this teenager-looking young lad that is coming from a very rich Russian family with dubious ways of making their money, lives in this mansion, and the two of them fall in love, part of two different cultures, and we follow their story as they fall in love and what happens, the consequences of that love story. But Mr. Basil, first impressions, what did you thought of the first part of the film?
I thought fantastic. Really enjoyed it. It's very, very fast-paced and actiony, isn't it, in the first 20 minutes? And the actual intro of showing Annie's job in this strip club was done really well. You know, it really captured the kind of sleaziness of a strip club and the what might be said to the girls that work there and what they might say back, and this kind of like fake relationship which is formed between the clients and these sex workers, if you will. You know, it's so that was done really good. I thought it really got the vibe right, and then yeah, it kind of followed on to show Annie's life, and she's kind of living in poverty, you know, in this set up with her sister, and you know, it went from glamour in the evening, the early hours of the morning, to where she works, to just this kind of like not very interesting life, you know, in the middle of nowhere. And then all behold, Ivan walks in with his money, really takes an interest to Annie, and then you kind of see this. You kind of see this love story develop, but it's not really, though, is it? Because she starts meeting him outside of work, and he is paying for her to be there, essentially, until one day he goes, "Oh, well, would you be my girlfriend for a week?" And again, the price, I think it was like $15,000 was agreed. So there's always this thing in the back of your mind, like, am I watching a love story here develop, or is it all just a bit callous for money? And that was a big part of the film, wasn't it, Alex?
Absolutely, yeah. It is. I mean, the first half of the film tries to frame this love story as being fairy tale like. Even the film looks like it's a fairy tale, with the lights and the music and the camera angles and the love and the sparkles everywhere and shopping and diamonds and all of that stuff. Abruptly, you know, once they do the wrong move in Las Vegas, which nobody wants to talk about, what happens in Las Vegas stays in Vegas. Reality crashes in, and it's all dark and grey when his parents, henchmen I would call them, I think, or almost like employees, rock up to his mansion to break the marriage, to break the relationship. And I think Ivan represents hope for her, and I think Anora, being the main protagonist, is like the very complex character, very well built and with multi-layered type of personality. And Mikey Madison, to her credit, plays this very well. But did you think that, you know, she is fully aware of what's happening around her, and she knows what she needs to get, as in you know, his cash? Or did you felt like she's a bit naive, or actually has feelings for her? What did you understand?
I was so you phrased it quite well. Where is the character coming from, you know, with Annie? Because I thought she's a clever girl. She sees probably an opportunity to get out of poverty if she plays her chess pieces quite right with this Russian oligarch's son. You know, and that's what she's doing. And but I was almost a bit confused watching it, because at one point I thought, oh well, she does genuinely love him, and it's not about the money. About halfway through the film, and because of the way she was talking about him, and you know, she didn't want they were trying to get the marriage annulled, you know, his family, and then it becomes this chaotic film about them chasing Ivan down because he does a runner, and they're chasing him all around the town and so forth and so on. And Annie, the whole time, she doesn't want the marriage to end. She doesn't want it to be annulled. But I was questioning in my head, is this character doing this because she wants to escape poverty and have the massive amount of cash that this Russian brings? or is it because she's generally doing it out of love? And it might have been a mixture of the two, really, because she's very smart. I think you would agree the character's very smart. She knows how to get what she wants, but she kind of lets herself down a little bit, I think, with not realizing the reality of the situation, especially towards the end of the film. I don't know if you agree, because when she's shocked at the outcome, I think a smart person wouldn't be shocked. So that makes me think she probably was in love. Did you think it was a little bit confusing, the character's kind of intentions?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Mikey Madison is favorite to win the Oscar this year, because this character is very torn. Is torn between her vision of the escape, the fantasy world, or her escape from the working class that she belongs to, and Ivan represents that hope. So she's thinking, she's torn between, knowing that her reality is inescapable, and seeing a glimpse of the hope in Ivan, thinking, if I get married, or if I fall in love with this person, then I will escape my working class reality, my survival, my fight for survival that she has to do all the time. So she's torn between these two worlds, but she's fully aware of the risks of it too, whereby we might find that Ivan is not really truthful to his feelings that he shows, and that is why this actress does that very well, and it's just portrays that I think that's the theme of the strongest point of the film. But everything around it, Basil, I don't know if it was as strong as people say outside her performance. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I would agree with this. We're both in agreement that Annie / Anora absolutely blew it away with performance. Fantastic, one to watch out for in the future. But the other characters weren't really fleshed out. Maybe you could argue that they didn't have too much of a chance to prove themselves, but they were just kind of like non-consequential characters, really, that neither here nor there, didn't really matter. You didn't really have a relation to them. At least with Annie, you kind of cared for her, survival in the film, and you were kind of rooting for her in a way. But yeah, the story of poverty versus insane wealth has been done before. You could cite examples where that sort of kind of rhetoric has been played out in a film before, and probably done better. Not to take anything away from Anora, but it's just been done before. And also the kind of middle portion of the film, when Ivan runs to try and escape the henchmen of his parents. This particular portion of the film was a bit long-winded, to say the least. It was enjoyable in moments, but it was a little bit long-winded, and it just kind of took away from the chaos of the first portion of the film. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, the Romeo and Juliet first section of the film, which is about an hour, that's a bit too long, I found, because it's been done again before better in other films. But it sets the film as, it tries to make you root for these two characters, and you do care for Anora. Not as much about Ivan, but you do care for them to make it. And you as an audience, you somehow believe that there is true love there, even though not all the evidence is clear. And then when this part starts that you're talking about, he disappears, and they're thinking, I want to see more of that. I want to see what happens between them, the two of them, now that reality has kicked in. But that the film just goes into this comedic / caricaturistic sort of vibe, where these guys are trying to find him, and she's trying to put her own personality and with them, and it's a bit loses its way a little bit. Yes. But the film in itself is very good in regards to performance, and I think that makes the ticket price. What did you think?
No, see, this is a strange one with this film, because leaving the cinema, I did have a few thoughts on the movie. Since the day I've seen it, wasn't too much in my mind, and I always like to kind of use this as a scale of how good a film is. Would I watch it again? I think I would, if I was with someone who hadn't already seen it, so we could have a chat about it. But overall, I was quite impressed, and as I say, performance wise, that was worth the ticket price alone for Annie / Anora. That character was brilliant in the film, and someone you root for. What about yourself? Did you think it was worth the ticket price?
Yeah, just for her performance, but that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed our discussion of Anora, and if you'd like to see a similar film full of energy and also a bit weird, check our discussion on Kinds of Kindness.